Get in the ring, or get out of my gym. Logan Pierce didn't shout the words, but they landed hard enough to silence the entire training floor. The clatter of jump ropes stopped, gloves lowered midair, and every head slowly turned toward the far corner where a man in gray coveralls stood beside a yellow mop bucket. Andre Walker paused with one hand resting on the handle, calm, still, almost detached from the sudden tension filling the room. Logan stepped closer, rolling his shoulders like he owned every square foot of the building. Which, as far as everyone knew, he did. His students watched with curious smirks, some already lifting their phones, because moments like this had a way of turning into entertainment. Andre didn't look up right away. He finished a slow swipe across the rubber mat, then wrung out the mop with quiet precision. Logan chuckled, shaking his head. You hear me? Or do you only clean and ignore instructions? A few people laughed, not loudly, just enough to feed the moment. Andre finally looked up, his expression calm, unreadable, the kind of calm that didn't invite confrontation, but didn't retreat from it either. Logan misread that silence as hesitation, and stepped even closer. I've been watching you all morning, man. You move around here like you're invisible, but this is my gym, and everyone here earns their space. He gestured toward the ring, ropes gleaming under bright LED lights. So, here's the deal. You want to stand around my fighters, you step in the ring, show us something, or you pack up that bucket and head out. The room shifted, not hostile, not aggressive, just curious. A low hum of anticipation filled the air. Someone whispered, "This is going to be good." Another voice said, "He's just a janitor." A few chuckles followed. Andre glanced toward the ring, then back at his mop bucket. His movements remained slow, deliberate, like he had all the time in the world. Logan shook his head again, smirking wider. Don't worry, I'll go easy. More laughter. Logan turned toward the class. We can't have people walking around pretending they belong here. The word belong hung heavy in the air. Andre lifted the mop, leaned it gently against the wall, then adjusted the cuff of his sleeve. Not rushed, not defensive, just composed. Emily Carter, a new member sitting near the edge of the mat, leaned forward slightly. Something about Andre's posture didn't match the moment. There was no nervous shifting, no awkward smile, just quiet steadiness. Logan noticed the silence growing and raised his voice slightly. Well, you stepping in or heading out? Andre looked at the ring again, then at Logan, and for the first time, he spoke, his voice calm, measured, almost conversational. You sure about that? Logan grinned, confident. Yeah, I'm sure. The room leaned in. Phones lifted higher. Someone muttered, "This guy's about to learn." Andre nodded once, then stepped forward, not fast, not hesitant, just steady. And as he walked toward the ring, the noise in the gym faded into a quiet expectation, because something about the way he moved didn't look like uncertainty. It looked like someone who had been there before. And Logan Pierce didn't notice it yet, but Emily Carter did, and she felt the shift before anyone else realized it. Andre Walker stepped through the ropes without hesitation, his boots making almost no sound against the canvas. The gym lights reflected softly across the ring floor as the quiet grew heavier. Logan Pierce circled once outside the ropes before climbing in after him, rolling his neck like he was preparing for a casual demonstration rather than a challenge. Several students gathered closer, forming a loose circle around the ring, phones held chest high, whispers moving like a slow wave across the training floor. Andre stood near the center, shoulders relaxed, hands resting loosely at his sides. He did not bounce, he did not stretch, he did not try to look impressive, and somehow that stillness made the room even quieter. Logan noticed it too, but misread it again. He smirked and pointed toward the edge of the ring. You ever done this before? Andre tilted his head slightly, considering the question, then answered calmly. A long time ago. Logan laughed, shaking his head. That is what they all say. A few people chuckled again, but the laughter sounded thinner now, less confident. Emily Carter shifted her weight, watching closely. She had trained at 3 gyms across 2 states. She had seen beginners freeze. She had seen nervous smiles. She had seen people try to act tough. Andre showed none of those signs. Instead, he simply looked around the gym once, as if measuring the space, as if memorizing the room. Logan raised his hands lightly, not aggressive, just performative. Relax, this is friendly, he said, Stepping lightly across the canvas, Andre nodded once, adjusting his stance by half a step, subtle enough that most people did not notice, but Emily did. The adjustment was precise, balanced, practiced. Logan kept talking, feeding the moment. We do not usually let maintenance staff into the ring, but today we will make an exception. A few students laughed again. One voice whispered, "This is going to be quick," another replied. "He looks calm, though." Logan motioned toward a timer mounted on the far wall. "Let us keep it short," he said, then looked back at Andre. "You ready?" Andre did not answer right away. He glanced once toward the corner where his mop bucket still stood, then back to Logan, his expression unchanged, calm, measured. He finally nodded. Logan stepped closer, lightly shifting his feet, demonstrating movement for the watching class. He spoke casually. "First rule, keep your balance." Andre mirrored the distance, quiet and controlled, his breathing steady, almost invisible. Emily leaned forward slightly, her eyes narrowing. Something about the rhythm felt different now. The gym noise faded further. Even the heavy bag in the far corner stopped swinging as someone let it settle. Logan made one more light step forward, still confident, still smiling. "Do not worry," he added. "I will keep it easy." Andre's eyes remained steady, not challenging, not hesitant, just present. And in that moment, the room felt like it was holding its breath. Because the calm that Andre carried did not feel like uncertainty anymore. It felt like patience. And patience in a ring meant something very different than fear. Logan Pierce circled lightly, still smiling, still treating the moment like a casual demonstration. He shifted his feet once more and motioned toward Andre's stance. "You see this, everyone. You keep your hands up and stay loose." He moved slowly, almost theatrically, making sure the class could see every movement. Andre adjusted his footing again, subtle and balanced, his shoulders relaxed, his breathing even. Emily Carter noticed the detail immediately. The angle of Andre's feet was not random, it was deliberate, precise, like someone who had practiced thousands of times. Logan stepped closer, still confident. "You do not want to freeze," he added, gesturing casually. Andre did not freeze. He simply shifted half a step, maintaining distance without effort. Logan's smile tightened just slightly. Something about the ease of that movement felt unexpected, but he brushed it off quickly. "All right," he said, glancing at the watching group. "Let us make this simple." He lifted one hand, signaling a friendly demonstration. Andre mirrored the motion calmly, not aggressive, not defensive, just present. The gym felt unusually quiet now. Even the air conditioning hum seemed louder than the crowd. Someone near the back whispered, "He moves different." Another voice responded softly, "Yeah, I noticed." Logan stepped again, testing distance. Andre shifted smoothly, maintaining balance. No wasted motion, no sudden reactions, just calm control. Emily leaned forward further, her eyes narrowing. She had seen professional fighters train before, and the calm Andre carried felt familiar. Not showy, not tense, just steady. Logan cleared his throat slightly, still smiling. "You have good balance for someone who cleans floors," he joked. A few light chuckles followed. But the laughter sounded uncertain now. Andre gave a small nod, acknowledging the comment without emotion. Logan glanced at the students, trying to keep the moment light. "All right, watch this." He moved forward again, slowly, demonstrating positioning. Andre adjusted once more, his stance grounded, his posture upright, his eyes steady. The room leaned in, phones raised higher. The energy shifted from amusement to curiosity. Logan stopped for a second, studying Andre more carefully now. "You said you did this a long time ago," he said. Andre answered calmly. "Yes." Logan tilted his head. "Where?" Andre paused briefly, then replied, "Different places." Logan laughed lightly. "That is not very specific." Andre did not elaborate. He simply held his stance, calm and composed. Emily felt the tension building, not loud, not dramatic, just quiet anticipation. Logan stepped forward again, this time slower, more cautious. He was still confident, but the casual tone had softened slightly. The students sensed it too. Someone whispered, "Why does this feel serious now?" Another replied, "I do not." "No." Logan made one more small movement, and Andre mirrored perfectly, balanced and steady. The silence deepened. The gym no longer felt like a training session. It felt like something else, something shifting beneath the surface. Logan finally nodded once, as if convincing himself everything was still under control. But Emily Carter saw it clearly now. The confidence had not disappeared, but it had changed. Because Logan Pierce was no longer performing for the crowd, he was beginning to pay attention. The silence stretched across the gym like a held breath. Logan Pierce shifted his weight again, slower now, more deliberate. The casual smile on his face had not disappeared, but it no longer carried the same certainty. Andre Walker remained still, balanced, composed, his eyes steady without aggression, without challenge, just calm awareness. Emily Carter noticed the smallest details, the way Andre's shoulders stayed loose, the way his breathing never changed, the way his feet adjusted without sound. She had trained long enough to recognize experience when she saw it. And this was not beginner energy. This was control. Someone near the back lowered his phone slightly, whispering, "Why does he look so relaxed?" Another voice answered quietly, "Because he is not worried." Logan cleared his throat, trying to regain the light tone. "All right, everyone, watch the spacing." He moved a step forward, slower than before. Andre shifted just enough to maintain distance, smooth, effortless. Logan stopped again, studying him more closely now. "You have good footwork," he said. Andre nodded once, calm. "Thank you." Logan tilted his head slightly, curiosity beginning to replace amusement. "You said it was a long time ago," Andre answered simply. "Yes." Logan looked at him, searching for something. "How long?" Andre paused briefly, then replied, "Years." The room remained quiet. Emily folded her arms, her eyes narrowing. Something about Andre's voice felt familiar, not just calm, but practiced, like someone used to pressure. Logan stepped again, lighter this time. Andre mirrored perfectly. The movement was subtle but precise. The students exchanged glances. Someone whispered, "He is matching him." Another voice said softly, "Yeah." Logan exhaled slowly, nodding to himself, then lifted his hands slightly, still casual, still controlled. "You know, not everyone who steps in here realizes how fast things move," he said. Andre answered quietly, "I understand." Logan paused again, then gave a small nod. "All right then." He shifted forward once more, and Andre adjusted again. Balanced, grounded. Emily leaned forward slightly, her attention locked now. The energy in the room had changed completely. The earlier laughter had disappeared, replaced by quiet curiosity. Logan stepped to the side. Andre mirrored, smooth and measured. Logan stopped and looked directly at him. Really looking now, not performing, not joking, just studying. "You sure you have not trained recently?" he asked. Andre shook his head calmly. "Not recently." Logan nodded, slowly, absorbing that answer. The room felt still, almost suspended. Even the fluorescent lights hummed louder in the quiet. Someone whispered near the ropes, "Something feels different." Another voice responded, "It does." Logan stepped back half a pace, resetting his stance. Andre remained calm, composed, his posture unchanged. Emily realized something then. The calm was not defensive, it was patient. And patience in a ring meant confidence. Logan inhaled slowly, nodding once more as if convincing himself everything remained under control. But the gym no longer felt like a casual demonstration. It felt like a moment unfolding, quiet and deliberate, and everyone watching could feel it building. Logan Pierce shifted forward again, slower than before, the confidence in his posture still visible, but now measured, cautious. Andre Walker remained composed, his shoulders loose, his breathing steady, his eyes calm and observant. The gym felt quieter than ever. Even the faint hum of fluorescent lights seemed louder. Emily Carter noticed the tension building, not loud, not dramatic, just quiet pressure. Logan stepped slightly closer, testing distance. Andre adjusted smoothly, maintaining balance, no wasted motion. Logan stopped again, studying him more carefully. "You move like someone who has spent time in here," he said, his tone softer now. Andre answered calmly, "I have." Logan tilted his head, curious. "You said years ago." Andre nodded once. "Yes." Logan exhaled slowly, glancing briefly at the students watching. The earlier amusement had faded, replaced by attentive silence. Someone near the ropes whispered, This is not what I expected, another voice replied. Me. Neither. Logan raised his hands lightly again, still keeping things controlled. All right, he said quietly. Let us see how you handle pressure. Andre did not respond. He simply adjusted his stance by a small fraction. Grounded, balanced. Emily felt her heartbeat quicken slightly. The atmosphere had shifted completely now. Logan moved again, more deliberate than before. Andre mirrored perfectly, smooth and calm. Logan stopped, nodding slowly, as if acknowledging something unspoken. You are comfortable in here, he said. Andre answered quietly. I am comfortable where I need to be. Logan studied him again, longer this time. The room remained silent. Someone lowered their phone slightly. Another leaned closer to the ropes. Logan took a slow breath, then stepped forward once more, controlled, measured. Andre adjusted again. Effortless. Emily noticed the detail that confirmed her suspicion. Andre's eyes were not following Logan's hands. They were tracking movement as a whole, calm and experienced. Logan paused again, then spoke quietly. You ever compete? Andre hesitated for a fraction of a second, then replied. A long time ago. Logan nodded slowly, absorbing the answer. The gym remained still. No laughter now, no whispers, just quiet anticipation. Logan shifted back half a step, resetting. Andre remained composed, his calm unchanged. Emily realized the breaking point was approaching, not through aggression, not through noise, but through realization. Logan looked at Andre again, really looking now. The performance had disappeared completely, replaced by focus. He nodded once, almost respectfully, then lifted his hands again. The energy in the room tightened, the quiet deepened, and for the first time since the challenge began, Logan Pierce was no longer treating Andre Walker like a janitor. He was treating him like someone who belonged in the ring. Logan Pierce inhaled slowly, resetting his stance. The confidence in his posture now blended with caution. Andre Walker remained still, balanced, composed, his calm unchanged. The room felt heavier with anticipation. No one spoke. No one laughed. Even the students who had been recording earlier now held their phones steady, afraid to miss whatever came next. Logan stepped forward carefully, controlled. Andre adjusted smoothly. The movement precise, grounded. Emily Carter noticed how effortless it looked. There was no tension in Andre's shoulders, no urgency in his steps, just patience. Logan circled slightly, studying him. The earlier performance gone completely, replaced by focus. You move like you never stopped, Logan said quietly. Andre answered calmly. Some things do not leave you. Logan nodded once, absorbing that. The gym remained silent. Someone near the ropes whispered softly. This is different now. Another voice replied. Yeah. Logan shifted again, testing distance. Andre mirrored perfectly, the motion smooth and deliberate. Logan exhaled slowly, then spoke again. All right, he said. Let us keep it controlled. Andre nodded once. The quiet deepened. Logan stepped forward with measured intent. Andre adjusted, balanced, the timing precise. Emily leaned forward slightly, her eyes locked on Andre's movement. The calm had transformed into quiet authority. Logan stopped again, studying him carefully. You ever coach? He asked. Andre shook his head lightly. No. Logan gave a small nod. You probably could. Andre did not respond. He simply maintained his stance, calm and patient. The room felt suspended, even the faint sound of someone shifting near the back seemed amplified. Logan stepped once more, slower now, deliberate. Andre mirrored again, smooth and controlled. The students exchanged glances, the tension building quietly. Logan paused, then nodded once, almost respectfully. You are ready, he said quietly. Andre's eyes remained steady, calm. Logan lifted his hands slightly, signaling the start of a controlled exchange. The gym fell completely silent. Every movement now carried weight. Logan stepped forward carefully. Andre adjusted, balanced, grounded, the timing precise. Emily felt the shift fully now. This was no longer a demonstration. It was a moment of recognition. Logan moved again. Andre responded smoothly. The calm remained. The control remained. The quiet stretched across the room. And for the first time since the challenge began, Logan Pierce understood that the man standing across from him was not simply someone who cleaned the floors. He He was someone who had walked into the ring before, many times, and never lost his composure. Logan Pierce stepped forward with controlled intent, his movements measured, his focus sharpened. Andre Walker adjusted smoothly, maintaining distance with quiet precision. The silence inside the gym felt almost unreal now. Every eye locked on the ring, every breath held. Logan shifted his weight and moved again. Andre responded calmly, balanced, grounded. Emily Carter felt the tension reach its peak. This was no longer curiosity. This was anticipation. Logan circled once more, slower than before, studying Andre carefully. "You are calm," he said quietly. Andre answered simply, "I am listening." Logan nodded, absorbing the answer. The room remained silent. Logan took one more careful step forward, controlled and deliberate. Andre adjusted instantly, smooth and effortless. The movement was subtle but undeniable. Logan stopped again, recognition beginning to settle in. He exhaled slowly, then stepped once more, and in that moment, Andre moved with quiet efficiency, not rushed, not dramatic, just precise. The shift was quick but controlled. Logan paused immediately, blinking in surprise. The students around the ring reacted with quiet murmurs, not loud, just stunned recognition. Logan steadied himself, raising his hand slightly, signaling a pause. The room remained silent, the realization spreading across the crowd. Logan looked at Andre now with complete focus, the confidence still present but transformed into respect. "You really have done this before," he said quietly. Andre nodded once, calm as ever. Emily felt the shift ripple across the gym. The earlier amusement had disappeared completely, replaced by quiet astonishment. Someone near the ropes whispered, "Did you see that?" Another voice answered softly, "Yeah." Logan inhaled slowly, nodding once, then stepped back half a pace, resetting himself. The room remained still. Andre stood composed, balanced, patient. Logan studied him again, then gave a small nod, almost acknowledging what he had just experienced. "All right," he said quietly. "That was good." Andre did not respond. He simply maintained his calm stance. The silence deepened. Again, Logan took another slow breath, then lowered his hands slightly, the tension easing but the atmosphere still charged. Emily realized the moment had shifted completely. Logan Pierce was no longer leading a demonstration. He was reacting, learning, adjusting, and everyone watching could see it clearly now. Because the man who had walked into the ring quietly moments ago had just changed the entire energy of the gym without raising his voice, without showing emotion, without doing anything dramatic. And in that silence, Andre Walker's calm presence spoke louder than anything else. The silence lingered long after the movement ended. Logan Pierce lowered his hands slowly, his breathing controlled but slightly deeper now. The students around the ring exchanged glances. No one laughed. No one spoke loudly. The atmosphere had shifted into something closer to respect. Andre Walker remained composed, his posture unchanged, his calm steady, as if nothing unusual had happened. Emily Carter noticed how quickly Andre returned to stillness. No celebration, no reaction, just quiet. "Patience," Logan nodded once, almost thoughtfully, then stepped to the side, creating space. "All right," he said quietly. That was enough for now. His tone was no longer playful. It carried a different weight. The room remained silent. Someone near the ropes lowered their phone slowly. Another leaned closer, trying to understand what they had just witnessed. Logan glanced briefly at the students, then back at Andre. "You have not trained recently," he said, more like a statement than a question. Andre shook his head calmly. "Not recently." Logan studied him again, then gave a small nod. "It shows that you have experience." Andre did not respond. He simply stood balanced, composed. Emily felt the shift ripple outward, the earlier assumptions fading away. Someone whispered softly, "Who is he?" Another voice answered, "I do not know." Logan stepped back toward the ropes, lowering his hands completely now. The demonstration clearly over. He looked at Andre with quiet curiosity. "You ever think about coming back?" he asked. Andre paused briefly, then answered calmly, "I come where I am needed." Logan nodded slowly, absorbing the answer. The room remained still, the tension easing but the curiosity growing stronger. Andre glanced briefly toward the corner where his mop bucket stood, then stepped back toward the ropes. Moving with the same quiet confidence, he stepped through and onto the mat. The students parted slightly, giving him space without realizing it. Emily noticed the detail. Respect had replaced amusement. Andre walked calmly toward the corner, picked up the mop handle, and adjusted it as if nothing unusual had happened. Logan remained in the ring, watching him, thoughtful now. The gym slowly began to breathe again. Someone cleared their throat, another shifted their stance, but the silence still lingered. Logan finally stepped through the ropes as well, his posture thoughtful, his expression calmer. He walked a few steps closer to Andre, stopping just short. "You surprised me," he admitted quietly. Andre gave a small nod. "Sometimes quiet things do." Logan almost smiled at that, then glanced briefly at the students still watching. The atmosphere had changed completely. No one saw Andre Walker as just the man with the mop anymore. And even without a single dramatic moment, the respect in the room had already begun to settle, quiet and undeniable. Andre Walker resumed his slow, steady motion across the mat, guiding the mop along the rubber surface with the same calm rhythm he had shown in the ring. The gym remained quieter than before, conversations returning in hushed tones rather than laughter. Logan Pierce stood a few feet away, still watching, his arms resting loosely at his sides, the earlier confidence replaced by thoughtful respect. Emily Carter noticed the shift ripple across the room. Students who had once smirked now stepped carefully around Andre, giving him space without thinking. Someone near the heavy bag whispered, "Who is he?" Another voice answered softly, "I think he used to fight." Logan finally stepped closer, his tone calm. "You never told me where you trained." Andre paused briefly, resting the mop handle against his shoulder, then replied quietly, "Different cities, different gyms." Logan nodded slowly, studying him again. "You must have competed." Andre gave a small nod. "A long time ago." Logan folded his arms, curious now. "What name did you fight under?" Andre hesitated for a moment, not dramatic, just thoughtful, then answered, "Andre Walker." The name settled quietly into the room. Emily's eyes widened slightly, recognition flickering across her face. She stepped forward half a pace. "Wait," she said softly. "Andre Walker." Logan glanced at her. "You know him?" Emily nodded slowly. "If it is the same Andre Walker, he fought professionally about 8 years ago." A few students exchanged surprised looks. Logan turned back toward Andre. "That you?" Andre nodded. Once, calm as ever, the room grew still again. Someone near the ropes whispered, "No way," another voice added. "I remember that name." Emily continued quietly. "He retired after a major tournament. Just disappeared." Logan exhaled slowly, absorbing the information, then looked back at Andre with new understanding. "You could have said something," he admitted. Andre gave a small, calm smile. "You did not ask the right questions." Logan almost laughed, shaking his head slightly. The tension eased into quiet respect. The students around them now watched differently, no longer curious, but impressed. Andre lifted the mop again and resumed cleaning, the calm rhythm returning. Logan stepped back, nodding once more. "You are welcome here anytime," he said quietly. Andre answered simply, "I am already here." Emily smiled faintly at that. The gym slowly returned to its usual sounds, gloves rustling, ropes creaking, footsteps moving again, but the atmosphere remained changed because everyone in the room had witnessed something quiet and unexpected. And as Andre Walker continued his steady work across the mat, no one saw him as just the janitor anymore. They saw someone who carried experience without needing to prove it, someone who stepped into the ring without raising his voice, and someone who left the same way, calm, composed, and quietly respected.